We are coming to you live with a breaking news update right now. Spirit Airlines says it is shutting down operations effective immediately after talks with the Trump administration over a federal bailout ended with no deal. In a statement issued this morning, the company said in part, quote, "To our guests, all Spirit flights have been canceled and customer service no longer available. We are proud of the impact of our ultra low-cost model on the industry over the last 34 years. Now, the airline had been hit extra hard recently with the surging jet fuel costs from the Iran war and the closure of the Strait of Hormuz, adding $15 million more a week to its expenses. American Airlines, United Airlines, and Frontier have all said they will help Spirit customers impacted by the shutdown. Spirit Airlines had a fleet of 130 planes serving 70 destinations and employs 17,000 people. Joining me now on the phone is Jay Blackman. He is a senior producer who covers the aviation industry for NBC News. Jay, this announcement was not exactly unexpected when you consider Spirit was already selling off aircraft and scaling back, plus the fuel prices. The writing was sort of on the wall, but its impact for thousands of travelers will be immediate. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, Jessica, Spirit has grounded every one of their aircraft and will cease operations. Passengers are being warned not to go to the airport. There will be no help there. Their counters will be dark. This also affects 17,000 employees, direct and indirect, some of whom are now in places that are not their home bases. Spirit does say that they're working to get those flight crews back to home and also working on figuring out if and when they get their final paychecks. But in terms of Spirit guests, they are, for lack of a better way to say it, also looking for flights maybe to go home or to go to important events. This has been very well expected. Spirit's creditors were not willing to take the Trump administration's bailout. In terms of creditors, if the Trump administration had taken over the airline, or a large chunk of the airline, those creditors would not have gotten their money, or would have gotten their money in a very delayed fashion. So unfortunately for Spirit customers, they're going to have to find other airlines to get home.
Yeah, that was my next question, Jay. If I have a ticket for Spirit right now and they have a shut down as of 3 a.m. Eastern, what am I supposed to do? Can I get help from another airline? How do I get my money back? Where do you even begin?
So if you bought your ticket on Spirit on a credit or debit card or through the Spirit Airlines website, that fee or that credit will be sent back to your original form of payment. If you book through a travel agent or a third-party site, you're going to have to reach out to them to receive a refund, and those may take a long time if they ever come.
Let's talk about those 17,000 employees, because that is no small number. What are their prospects in terms of severance or possibly getting a job with another airline?
So the airline industry will certainly be hiring some of these employees. You have a lot of very qualified pilots and flight attendants, mechanics. So some of those people will be absorbed. But in terms of when they get their severance, there are a lot of people who have bills that Spirit owes. I think the employees are going to be in a long line of people with their hands out trying to get money.
Jay, what ultimately went wrong here for Spirit? And are there other airlines out there, especially when we look at those popular low-cost carriers, who could also find themselves in a bad situation because of these sky-high fuel prices that we don't know when they might come down?
It's a very difficult time for even the legacy carriers, the bigger carriers in the industry. The fuel prices are steep at the moment, and with experts saying even when and if the Strait of Hormuz opens up, it's going to take a while for that supply to get into the market. You're going to see jet fuel prices high for a long time. For consumers, that may mean, especially over the summer, you're going to see higher ticket prices. You could see higher ticket prices depending on how long this goes through the Thanksgiving and Christmas holidays. In terms of the other carriers, there's a request from some of those low-cost carriers through their industry group to give them a bailout. But right now, the appetite for bailouts are small. Could you see other carriers go? I think that's too soon to tell. Spirit's for low costs are also what did them in. While they were charging for everything, including printing a boarding pass, it just wasn't enough to pay their bills. They had been in bankruptcy right now. They've been bankruptcy twice in the recent past. It just was not a sustainable model for the industry. There are tens of planes parked in the desert in Phoenix or in Arizona looking for people to purchase them. There are people in the industry that are looking, for airplanes in all over the world. It just will take time for that money to start to flow.